Director. Mics are hot, sir. Madam President, Commissioners, it is now 11:30.
All right, thank you very much, Director Wong. Welcome everyone to our pre-commission agenda. Any general housekeeping comments, questions before we get started? All right, hearing none. Director Wong, or agenda comments? No? All right. Director Wong,
Thank
over
you.
to you.
Yes, and we do have a quorum. We do have two on the Zoom and
I see.
two here. Okay, well, Commissioners, thank you. A couple things. Stacy, if you bring up my presentation, please. We also have our tremendous communications team speaking to you on an initiative they're doing here
Very good.
very, very shortly. So anyway, Commissioners, a couple of different things across the board. First off, again, just a review, a pictorial of the very successful employee breakfast. Again, thank you all for the great support you gave us on that. Next, please. As you all know, last Friday, the executive team was invited to visit Mountain Home Air Force Base, and we visited the 366 Fighter Wing Munitions Squadron. In the picture, that is their commander, Major Cower. She's doing an absolutely tremendous job, and she will be leaving the base in June to go to a very prestigious school that is reserved for very few. And such. So there'll be a change of command at that point in time. That being said, the team got to see some things that most people don't get to see out there. We were able to tour the munitions sites. We were able to see weapons being put together. The group also got to climb on top of an F-15E and such, and just meet so many tremendous young people. It was just an absolute pleasure to be afforded the opportunity to go visit that great group. In front of you are some gifts from the munitions squadron. Those are shell casings from an F-15E Gatling gun. They're all yours as a compliment, and for those of you that are on the Zoom, I'll have those for you when we see you, or as soon as we see you. Anyway, they were very supportive, and we were very, very appreciative of their kind support for not only the mission of the United States Air Force and the country, but for all of us going forward. Next slide, please.
Thank you.
A couple things I'd like to share with you and such right up front. As you know, we are at the end of the FY, and we're going through our final budget adjustments and budget analysis and stuff. But I thought you'd be interested to know that we did execute $141 million in invoices this year, which is a record year for the Ada County Highway District. Impact fees came in, as you could see up above. HB 312 funding, this will be the last time we are reporting, but we did execute 100% of what the legislature allocated to us again this year. And we're expecting a financial closeout in the mid-November timeframe. And Commissioners, as you are aware, your operational requirement for us was to execute the budget at or above 92%. We're forecasting 95% as we move forward. All of your roads remain in very, very good condition. And as you can see, the commuter ride team, again, has done a tremendous job of not only supporting alternate transportation opportunities and choices for Ada County and those outside of Ada County, but have been very impactful to reducing single vehicle miles and, of course, improving the environment by reducing a lot of carbon monoxide or dioxide, out of the environment. Next slide, please. As we always share with you, our team is very busy every day, sometimes 24/7 across the board. These are some things, and I'll be sharing these with the team next week at the All Staff. But just some of the statistics that your team has been able to very successfully employ across Alameda County. As you can tell, just by looking at the numbers, this is a true indication of growth. And as I always pick out the number of signs that we've used as an indication of where subdivisions and stuff are growing, it truly is amazing that our team, your team, is able to accomplish all this on a daily basis, knowing the tidal wave of tasks that are in front of all of them. And then finally, I thought I'd share this with you. I recently had the opportunity to speak to a former ACHD commissioner, and that commissioner got an insight into this year's snow ops, what we're doing. And that commissioner reminded me that not too long ago, we only had one plow and it didn't fit the darn truck that it was supposed to go on. And today we have 60 plus, 63 units, 44 plows, and a tremendously talented team to make that work. So as I've said up there, the Ada County Highway District has come a very, very long way in operations. Next, please. In front of you, you have this handout. And what I wanted to share with you is one key issue. As you all know, going forward, 23 and into 24 is going to be a monumental right-of-way challenge for the Ada County Highway District. We are purchasing 500 plus, or negotiating with 500 plus different parcels to complete the projects that you've put in front of us and approved going forward. So as you see on the sheet, and I've shared with you over the weeks, generally you don't see that much yellow. That is not something that we are overly concerned about at this time. It's just a heads up that a lot of those projects there has some very intricate right-of-way processes that we're going to be going through as part of that 500 plus right-of-way challenge that we'll be facing this year. So again, as we do on a weekly basis, we'll keep you posted. But hats off to our right-of-way team. Now, I will say that Plans and Projects, they're looking at innovative ways to help meet that without bringing on more people here. If there's opportunities to contract some of these things out when it comes down to commercial right-of-way issues, we're going to go down that path and use best practices that other agencies and other entities that perform this type of duty have been doing. So we'll see how this all plays out, but we are confident that we'll be able to hit the target. But I just wanted you all to see that type of impact that we have going forward. Next slide, please.
Thank you.
Also in front of you, there's a fold-out. And that fold-out, our tremendous Plans and Projects team did a quick look at to what the costs of road sections, intersections, or sectional things have grown from 2013 to today. And as you can see from that handout, and it's this one right here, that the costs in many areas have doubled for a linear foot, dependent upon the mode, dependent on the materials being used. And so we thought it was very interesting for you just to take a look and see where Ada County, and I suspect the rest of Idaho, has gone or is being challenged with as we move forward into 2023. Next slide, please. And then a couple from the financial aspect that we always do. Your team did a tremendous job. As you can see, we've been pushing hard to have the majority of our team members on direct deposit. And our goal had been 95%. We hit the 95% for team members taking direct deposit. Most important also is the number of employees, and I want to thank you all again for joining that the new match that we have as an encouragement and a benefit for retaining their operation with the Ada County Highway District. This has been incredibly successful, and it was again due to you all approving the plans that we put forth. At the end of the year, we always calculate our self-insurance claims. And again, more than $1 is always not appreciated, but having this number at where it's at today is phenomenal for the amount of infrastructure, equipment, vehicles, operations that we do on a daily basis, and for our new commissioners. In the past, we actually contracted out the insurance program, and it generally costs us between $300,000 and $350,000 a year in insurance premiums. We've been able to, as we decided to go self-insure, been able to put those dollars back into the operations on a yearly basis. So we're very happy with that. We will continue to try to get the number down to that $1 area, but I don't think for 17 claims at that amount of dollars, I think I think our team is doing incredibly well. What was interesting, though, is that for 2022, vehicle registration fees were several percentage points lower than they were last year. Now, looking at that, there are all sorts of answers or thoughts on this, but I think one of the main ones would be that we may be seeing that double year impact. As you know, you can go more than 1 year when you register your vehicle. That may be the reason why it's 9% lower, but we will continue to watch that as we go into 23, see if there's a trend going forward. Median prices for homes here in this area declined by 15%, which I think is a great news, but the average cost, I believe, is in the $550,000 plus average cost for homes here in Ada County. And as you can see from the other areas, costs continue to have gone up annually. It's no surprise. What was somewhat of a good news is that unleaded gas, although up 15% annually, actually decreased 2% from last month to this month. We'll see if that continues going forward. As you probably know, all the pundits and smart people that are looking at these sort of things are not projecting that decrease in cost to continue when it comes down to gas operations. And one of the things that we watch very carefully with all of them, of course, is diesel. And diesel has not decreased in the last month and has increased about over 30% to date annually. Next slide, please. Commissioners, I'm very happy to let you know that, again, your team has met every one of your operational objectives for the year. That's the summary going forward, and we'll continue that aspect with your concurrence as we go into 23. Next slide, please. Something a little different. I saw this yesterday from a presentation from Memphis. And it was an idea that the Memphis workforce out there, they're using old tires to mark bike lanes. And so I shared this with our team, and we believe that there may be an opportunity here in Ada County to see if this works. Now, some of the concerns that, as our team has already looked at this, those belts would have to be more reflective. We don't know how they'd stand up in the winter. But our thought was this, we should never be afraid of trying something new. So we're going to look and see if we can make this work, so to speak, maybe on a test road close here, and see if it could withstand winter and snowplow operation, because in Memphis there's not much snow as it's going forward. But this caught my eye, and it's something we may want to consider after we see if it's even feasible, and after we see if we can do a controlled test environment, see if these things actually survive or not. But very unique, and the question is, why not? So we'll be keeping you posted as to the plus or minus on this, and if we can even make this work from a perspective of Ada County Highway District, Idaho, and of course the different seasons that we have here that may or may not be conducive to using old rubber tires. But again, that was kind of unique, so we're going to take a look at it. Next slide, please. Okay, with that, I'd like to introduce Christy. She will now share with you some ideas on an innovative process that our communications team is doing.
All right, very good. Thank you. Welcome, Christy.
Hi there, I'm Christy. I work with our communications department, doing a lot of our projects and our public involvement. So I am going to try and do this from a distance here, so bear with me. So I want to show you our new public involvement, our new project platform. Okay, do you want me to wait? There we go, thank you. So this is our new landing page for our projects. So when someone goes to our website to look for a project, they will come to this page. And I just want to walk you through it, and Avery will help me with a few of the other details as well. So first, what people will see is we have a tell us what you think section. This is where our active projects for public involvement will be. So right now we have Capitol Boulevard out for public comment, Rose Hill, Waihi, and then USTIC is launching tomorrow for public involvement. So it's very easy for people just to come here and click on that project and engage. The next section, we have featured construction projects for larger projects. And then there's also a really cool feature here where people can type in the project they're looking for, and it will pop up here. And anything with, like when I type in Columbus Street, our Columbus Street transportation plan pops up, as well as another project with Columbus Street in the name. So we're very excited about that. People can also search via this, we're still working on that. They can also search via tags. So they can search for all projects in Boise, all projects in Meridian, et cetera, et cetera. So now I'm going to have Avery come up, and she is going to walk you through an actual project page.
All right, thank you, Christy. Welcome, Avery.
Welcome. So I am going to go ahead and talk about USTIC Road, Black Cat Road to 10 Mile Road. So I'll go ahead and walk you guys through what this site is going to look like. So this is going to launch tomorrow. And as you scroll through, we have general description. You can learn more about the project, which is also linked over here. There's lots of ways to access information, which is really great. There is an opportunity to put the project manager, as well as we have Erin over here too, business and community relations coordinator. This is where they can take the survey and ask questions as well. And then there's timeline, and then to stay informed, they can subscribe to get project updates that will deliver to their inbox. So yeah, I'll ask Christy to come back up and talk about construction projects a bit more.
Thank you.
So our construction projects are set up pretty much the same way, except we won't be using the engagement tools. But what's really nice is that not only do we have the description up here, but down here when we have construction updates, we can just add them as we go, and they're very organized. So that's just something really unique. We have the ability to add video, as well as other photos as well. There's lots of flexibility and tools that we're kind of learning as we go. So for the past 2 weeks, we've been putting projects on this platform. And I think the way we, maybe have stylized them to start with, we might do it different as we move forward. Another great feature is the background and the reporting features, much more robust. We'll be able to see how many people visited each project site, see what tools are popular with people, what tools they're using to engage. We can also see where they're coming from and that sort of thing. So do you guys have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any. Dave or Commissioner McKinney?
Yes, thank you. Christy, just one quick question. Of course, this is clearly, we're including projects that are in development as well as projects that are under construction. What about, is there anything where people who come to this site can see future projects that are maybe not quite in development, upcoming in the future, or is that not the intent here?
So we usually put a project on the webpage as soon as we start public engagement or construction outreach, that sort of thing. But with our new website, I believe we're going to have a more robust tool for the 5-year work plan and how people can look up future projects.
Okay, I think that would be good, because there's a lot of people who ask, hey, what about such and such street? And it's in the 5-year work plan, but it's not currently in development and so on. And if people can find that information themselves, I think that can streamline, answer a lot of
Absolutely.
questions, kind of cut them off at the pass, so to speak.
Absolutely.
And getting that information out to the public is always helpful.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Madam President, yeah.
Commissioner Hanson?
And Christy, thanks. This is great. I think the go-to place I'm always sending people is the map. That's where they can, they know where they live. So they just want to see what's
Exactly.
going on in their area, and that oftentimes they'll look at other things. So
Yes.
just want to make sure as we're constantly updating various projects, because the entire 5-year work plan's on there. And even those things that don't even have a date, it just says future. But as we're updating it, all that information, it's summarized on the map, and it's also then linked back, I assume, to these pages, right?
I'm not quite sure yet. Right now, we just have everything that is that was currently on our webpage in the projects area on this site. So it's definitely evolving as we go. So
I want to make sure that, because the map, I think, is the easiest go-to place for people to start with.
for sure. Oh, I agree.
Yeah, by all
Make
means,
sure
we
those
should, we
links
should link it with the
are
map.
really good,
Okay.
because I'm constantly sending people there, and people are always asking me about, I just saw this. What does that mean?
We've done so much with increasing the transparency and improving our accessibility to all of the residents across the valley. So this is just one more step towards making it even better. So
Yes.
really applaud you and your team for all the work that you're doing here. So
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right, thank you.
My eyesight's not that good.
Thank you, Avery.
Commissioners, we have a new team member we'd like to introduce to you. And says so, Ryan Head. It's not Ryan.
Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President, Commission. I just wanted to introduce to you today Megan Anderson. She is our new impact fee administrator. She comes to ACHD with a lot of experience. We didn't know there were people like us, but she comes actually from Zions Bank, where she was a consultant and helped a number of small communities develop their impact fee program. So has 14 years worth of experience working with impact fees and is very familiar already with the ordinances and the legislation and all of those different things.
Wow.
So we're really
Ahead
excited
of the
to be bringing her on board. So
Oh,
just wanted to introduce her to you today.
we appreciate that. Welcome to you. Glad to have you part of the team.
So Commissioners, that ends this week's Director's Report. I'll stand for any questions you might have, and you have a couple minutes.
All right. Any questions or comments? All right, thank you very much.
Mr. Hotzer.
Madam President, Commissioners, good afternoon. It is 12 o'clock.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Commissioners, first item, adopt our agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a commissioner or a citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. All consent agenda items are commission action items unless noted. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Madam President,
Commissioner McKinney?
before we do that, I would like to hear just a brief discussion of item number 4 on the consent agenda, so I request that item be removed simply because for a matter of public information. I think it would be worth getting a little bit of information on the record regarding that one.
So your intent is to pull it so that the public has an opportunity to,
Yes.
for the public to
Yes.
weigh in?
Well,
Or more, you're requesting some more information before we move on?
yeah, I would like some more information.
Okay.
And I think a public discussion of it would be
Okay, Director Wong?
worthwhile.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Commissioner McKinney. Item 4 is, as you've seen in here, is a final buyout for property that we need for the Floating Feather project. This piece of property is basically a two-phase sort of thing. We've already purchased the property in question for, I think, $440,000. The additional dollars there was requested by the property owner in lieu of resettlement fees, all these different things that go into this project. And then, and so at the end of the day, the additional dollars, I believe, of $160,000 is actually, in today's environment, a little less than we would have paid if we had to go through resettlement, those sort of things to move the individual and such. So our team agreed to that, and the property is right in the middle of that roundabout that's going to be constructed. So we did follow all the appropriate procedures across the board, but this was a request. We looked at it, and from a financial perspective, we said this was a good deal for the taxpayer and a good deal for the individual, so that's why it's here.
So we've got a residential property, correct?
Yes.
And the property was purchased, and the purchase price was $440,000.
Yes, that's just the purchase price. And then part of the right-of-way negotiations, we then get into how do we then make the individual, I'll say, whole in moving, in
Relocating.
Okay.
Mr. Price?
Madam President, Commissioners, just lawyer talk. I've got two lawyers up there today. Yeah, we had negotiated the purchase for $440,000. Under both state and federal law, when we do a total buyout, we're required to provide relocation benefits, and they're very much defined in state and federal statute. And the property owner was entitled to those relocation expenses. And they had come back to us and said that they, in lieu of us helping, we have a consultant that does relocation. Instead of helping them find a new piece of property, going through all of that exercise, that they would just take a payment in cash and a lump sum in lieu of those relocation expenses. And it is our staff's opinion that we're getting the better part of that deal, because it would have cost us more with all of the costs associated with the relocation. We still have to pay outside the $600,000 the actual moving expenses, but we don't have to help with the relocation, finding them a new piece of property, helping them buy a piece of property, and the like. So
Okay.
it is a good deal from staff's perspective.
Okay, good. And the truth is, I just wanted this discussion to be on the record. I think it's helpful for the public to be aware of, what's involved when we have, and I assume this was an eminent domain situation where we need property for a highway improvement, and there are frequently, misperceptions in the mind of the public about what's involved in property acquisition by public entities for highway expansion and other type projects. And I think it's good to know, or good to have this kind of discussion just for the sake of informing the public about what goes on, how governmental agencies are always required to provide just compensation for property takings when needed. And so, anyway, thank you for the information. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Did you still want to make a motion to pull it, or are you?
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and second the motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, thank you.
No,
We have a motion. Further discussion?
We're not allowed to discuss things on the consent agenda according to our procedure, but now that we've violated our own procedures, I'll vote for it.
I don't think we've pulled things after we've read the disclaimer. So he had a question about maybe pulling it. So we don't always do that beforehand. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, takes us to the regular agenda. We have nothing on our regular agenda. Public communications. Is there anyone that would like to address the commission? Seeing none, we're adjourned.